on their own, and maybe motivated by a few quarters, to make a decision to extend the voter registration by 4 days. 4 days, 5 days can never be sufficient time to register all the eligible voters. ECZ is aware of this. They've been observing the queues, the slowness in their own system, the breakdowns in the equipment across the country, particularly so in certain regions of our country. They are aware that citizens have had to spend 15, 16, 17 hours on the queue. A person goes to the registration office or center at 6 in the morning. Some were only able to get their registration, voter registration, 23 hours that evening. So the delays have been occasioned by the Electoral Commission, not by the citizens. Let's get that very clear. The delays we've experienced in the voter registration have been occasioned by the Electoral Commission of Zambia's inability to efficiently run the process. Now, they decided 30 days. They departed from their own projections, own public pronouncements that they will be registering voters in all the 9,000 plus polling stations across the country simultaneously, meaning at the same time. They didn't do it. Essentially, they were in certain registration centers, polling stations, only for a period of 7 days. And even these 7 days, we can't count them as 7 days, because even these 7 days, you'll find 2, 3 days the machines are down and voters are turned away. That's common knowledge. That's the reason they've not achieved their own projections. It's a problem that they created. It's a problem that they were well aware of. It's a problem they were informed, they were advised that it was not possible to register 9 million people, voters, in the manner they planned it, in the manner they timed it. So the question is, why would an election management body do what ECZ has done? Why would ECZ be confrontational? Why would ECZ invite citizens to battle, to engage with it negatively, when they knew that what they were pronouncing was not possible? It can only mean one thing, or indeed two things, but primarily one, that ECZ from the beginning planned to rig this election. That ECZ from the beginning planned to disenfranchise citizens, eligible voters. That's what it means. And what is happening, or what happened yesterday via this announcement, is a confirmation of the suspicions, the speculations that were there from the beginning, that ECZ are conniving with certain stakeholders. ECZ are conniving with certain stakeholders to create chaos, to breed chaos in the electoral process. A process which is basically sits at the apex of a democracy. A process which sits at the apex of a society that believes is organized through the rule of law. Here's an electoral body against all advice, which decides to proceed by sowing seeds of discontent, seeds of chaos in a country's electoral process. The one process that you wait for a period of 5 years in order to decide as to who manages your country. This is a decide to scatter this process, to breed chaos. Now, to benefit whom? Your guess is as good as mine. To benefit those that are in the public office today. So instead of being the supervisor, the referee, they decide to hate the PF. They've decided to help PF to stay in office. Followed by the surrogates, who are well known anyway. A public institution that is supposed to do a transparent, free and fair process to help the country maintain peace and order. It is an institution, it is that institution which is actually breeding chaos. We as Zambians should say no to that. We saw it, we are vindicated. In that so-called summit of presidents on the electoral process, we say it. Those who are clear will remember we say that there was no way we render that advice, and we render that advice based on research. And sometimes what is very clear that ECZ was heading in the wrong direction. And today we sit here, we are vindicated. Millions of young people will not be registered to vote. They will be denied their choice of leadership. So what are you forcing Zambians to do? Masquerading as an electoral commission? What are you forcing Zambians to do? What are you saying that they can't choose the leadership? They must say the leadership of the PF.